Ruckus's message that one must hate black people in order to enter white heaven gets popular. In addition, Huey attempts to prevent the execution of a radical who was wrongfully convicted of murder. Before we get started on this historical breakdown, I just wanted to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm working on some new designs over at the Disriz Entertainment store. You see that new logo? Yeah, it's more where that came from. Remember, we still have a few of the 2022 grade fall designs on the store shelves. From tank tops to t-shirts to hoodies, we have it all. Special shout out to everyone that purchased some merch during the December 2022 sale. You helped me create some new designs for the spring and summer of 2023. If you would like to support the channel further and help with the funding of Disriz Entertainment, the link will be in the description. Now, let's get into it. When Uncle Ruckus is diagnosed with cancer, he gets a vision of a white heaven. The remainder of his time is devoted to sermons preaching up the white God with a white paradise. On the other side, Huey is hatching a plot to free an innocent prisoner. Episode 15 of the BoonDocks is titled The Passion of Reverend Ruckus. On March 19, 2006, it was first broadcast to the public. This is the season 1 ending episode. Uncle Ruckus had a heavenly adventure in his opening dream. He arrives to the pearly gates to find Ronald Reagan waiting for him instead of St. Peter. Reagan explains to Ruckus that they are in white heaven, one of many different but equally good heavens for different types of people, but he appears to imply that white heaven is the greatest. Ruckus, the self-loathing black guy that he is, wants to know what he must do to enter white heaven. Reagan assures Ruckus that if he preaches the gospel of white heaven and white Jesus, he will be welcomed into white heaven. Ruckus observes in a nearby pool that he has been changed into a white guy with blonde hair and blue eyes. Awakening and eager to share the news, Ruckus immediately takes off and starts spreading the good news. Meanwhile, Huey and Jasmine get together to talk about paying a visit to Huey's death row pen pal Shabazz K. Milton Burrow. In 1970, while working as an intern for the Black Panther Party, Shabazz heard a gunshot outside his window as he was filling out paperwork. The guy then yelled to Shabazz that he had committed a murder, gave his name, and dropped the weapon at the spot with his fingerprints visibly imprinted in chocolate frosting from the donut he had been eating and the registration tag attached. An amateur home video of the murder and a court stenographer's transcription of the dying man's last remarks both corroborated the killer's guilt. The jury found Shabazz guilty and condemned him to death despite the fact that all the evidence presented exonerated him. Huey has been in contact with the condemned Shabazz, and he reveals to him that he has threatened to expose the governor's homosexual romance in a letter.
I've sent anonymous letters to the governor threatening to expose his gay lover.
I wasn't aware the governor was gay.
He probably isn't, but I figured 10% of the population is gay, and probably about half of people cheat on their spouses, so I figure that plan has about a 5% chance of success. Better than nothing.
Huey.
What? You always say I should have faith. Well, that's me having faith. Random anonymous blackmail.
Huey, they turned down the final appeal. The execution date has been set. It's in 2 months.
2 months? That's so soon.
I've had a long time to come to peace with this.
It's not over yet. Why don't you just holler at him?
I don't know, he's so detached. We used to spend all our yard time together. We used to lift weights together every day. He doesn't even spot me anymore. I think there's somebody else.
Jail nigga, you gay.
Meanwhile, Ruckus has begun preaching. He will stop his vehicle in front of pedestrians and tell them that if they are white, they will get to heaven. As the majority of the town's population is white, this message goes over pretty well. Ruckus has a tumor on his spine and doctors have told him he doesn't have long to live, so he's using his time to preach about how black people may earn salvation and entry to white heaven by hating their own blackness. Robert warns Ruckus to quit being an idiot, but word of his rant gets around and he ends up with his own TV show and a revival gathering at the local sports coliseum. Despite Jasmine's demand that they rename their prison break Plan Jasmine and Huey's plan, Huey is still hard at work on Operation Black Steel, the codename for his friend's escape from prison. After saying his goodbyes to his brother and hearing Raleigh say,
Nigga, you gay.
Huey begins to make his way downstairs to meet his fate. However, his plans are abruptly derailed when Robert informs him that he will not be able to drive Huey to the prison because he has decided to accompany Tom to Ruckus Revival in an effort to talk some sense into Ruckus. The governor, upon receiving Huey's extortion letter, panics at the notion that word of Rayo, his gay lover, has got out, prompting Huey to drop to his knees and begin praying for Shabazz, the only time Huey has been seen cry in the series. Ruckus says, "If any of my words don't come directly from the Almighty God himself, then may I be struck by lightning right this very instant." He reaches for the phone and Tom starts to fall under Ruckus' influence, and then a lightning bolt strikes him, knocking out power to most of the city. In order to carry out the execution of Shabazz, the prison's electricity is switched off, but as soon as it is restored, Shabazz's phone rings, and he asks calmly, "Would anybody want to answer that?" "It's for me." Even though the lightning healed Ruckus of cancer, he has lost his congregation since no one believes a guy whom his God has apparently labeled a liar. Huey claims that the physicians have found no trace of his tumor, and it is later revealed that Rayo is the gay lover of the governor, whose sexual orientation Huey had risked publicizing. Despite Shabazz's continued incarceration, Huey deems their current aim a success. Trivia time. Riley calls Huey Morpheus when he sees him in a long coat before Huey heads out of his room to ask Granddad for a ride to the prison. This is a reference to Lawrence Fishburne's character in the Matrix movies. The title of the episode is a parody of Mel Gibson's film The Passion of the Christ. Shabazz is a depiction of Mumia Abu-Jamal. Mumia Abu-Jamal, born Wesley Cook on April 24, 1954, is an American political activist and journalist who was convicted of murder and sentenced to death in 1982 for the 1981 murder of Philadelphia police officer Daniel Faulkner. While on death row, he has written and commented on the criminal justice system in the United States. After numerous appeals, his death penalty sentence was overturned by a federal court. In 2011, the prosecution agreed to a sentence of life imprisonment without parole. He entered the general prison population early the following year. The song played during Ruckus' speech, Shabazz's execution, and Huey's prayer, which will not be played due to copyright reasons, is Say I Believe in It by Isabel Antona. Link in description. During Huey's description of Operation Black Steel, he mentions how Granddad will remain in the car and watch Friday. This is in reference to John Witherspoon's granddad's voice actor role as Mr. Willie Jones in the movie Friday. When Huey is hosting the meeting to free Shabazz while talking about what to feed him at jail, a Che Guevara poster is shown. Ernesto Che Guevara, from the 14th of June 1928 through the 9th of October 1967, was an Argentine Marxist revolutionary. A major figure of the Cuban Revolution, his stylized visage has become a ubiquitous countercultural symbol of rebellion and global insignia in popular culture. Additionally, Guevara was a prolific writer and diarist, composing a seminal guerrilla warfare manual, along with a best-selling memoir about his youthful continental motorcycle journey. Guevara left Cuba in 1965 to foment continental revolutions across both Africa and South America, first unsuccessfully in Congo, Kinshasa, and later in Bolivia, where he was captured by CIA-assisted Bolivian forces and summarily executed. The governor being gay is a reference to former New Jersey Governor James McGruder, who resigned after it was revealed he had an extramarital homosexual affair. Whether or not Shabazz was ever released is never revealed. Before we conclude, I wanted to shout out our sponsor of this video, This Riz Entertainment. This Riz Entertainment LLC is an upcoming cinematic editing company that specializes in capturing high quality, realistic, and abstract images through a camera lens, public service announcements, music videos, documentaries, web episodes, short films, commercials, and feature films, just to name a few. You can find them here on YouTube with multiple channels. This Riz TV Media Gaming Channel, This Riz Entertainment Cinematic Channel, and in the works, the This Riz Cinematic Reviews Channel. After this video, please take a look at these channels. You might see something you like. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if you're feeling fancy. Now back to the review. I rate this episode a 10 out of 10, and it was hilariously funny. But before y'all get all crazy in the comments section, you have to hear me out.
You got a problem with that, nigga?
To be honest with myself, I had to rewatch this episode 3 times to understand the entire message. Even though Uncle Ruckus was cooning as usual, it didn't take away from the message intended. Some people are believed to be anointed with Holy Spirit according to their religious beliefs, but to get into white heaven is a reach. I've never met anyone that has gone to heaven to tell me what it looks like. Is it segregated? Why did most early American religions preach racism if they were truly divine by God? It goes to show who truly were the first niggas. All the religions that taught their flock that if you were bad and going to hell because of your melanin skin color, you're going to hell for that stupid ass hateful preaching. If the shoe fits, put that motherfucker on, wear the motherfucker and look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I truly a nigga? The only religion that stood for the African American culture were the Nation of Islam, the Black Muslims. Please let me know in the comment section if I'm wrong. I'll wait. Blacks have been degraded since they were brought to this country. So it goes to show America was built on racism. A damn shame if you ask me. Not to get too far off topic, but ultimately, I truly feel Ruckus got what he was due to get with a shocking outcome. As I said, the episode was funny, but this was one of the deepest, well-illustrated episodes of Season 1. Aaron McGruder and the BoonDocks cast knocked this one out of the park, to say the least. Usually, I'll have something to say by adding a twist to the narrative, but all I can say is well done, a lesson in history with a powerful message. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you knew they were referencing Mumia Abu-Jamal and Ernesto Che Guevara in this episode. Did you know the history behind these two historical figures? Lastly, does this episode about Ruckus's character remind you of the early Mormonism teachings and Latter-day Saint movement? I really want to know your thoughts in the comment section below. That'd be much appreciated. Also, I would like to thank all of the new subscribers. Over the last month and a half, we currently have over 3,011 subscribers. Thank you all. Feel free to comment in the box and tell us what part of the world you are from. Thank y'all for liking the content. This motivates us to make more videos like this one here. Please be sure to smash that like button, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure your post notifications are turned on. If you made it to this part of the video, let me know what your favorite part of the video was. Also, what are you all looking forward to in future episodes? I'll be sure to answer that in the next video. I'd like to hear your thoughts on if I missed the mark on this video and other points I should have brought out in this review here. Share this video. I was told that it helps out the algorithm. We are trying to get our views up. We are asking for 200 likes to help take this channel to the next level. New review videos every Saturday and Sunday for more episodes. Enable alerts for this channel so you don't miss anything. If you enjoyed this video, click here for all of my affiliate channels and click here for what BoonDocks video might interest you next. Thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you in the next one.